A chat with Matt's back. I know some promo stuff's been going up and everyone's been seeing it, so thank you for support on that. Episode 46 with Greg Hatchette. Greg, how you doing, man?
Hey, what's up, guys? I'm doing well, thanks. How are you?
Good. So, a bit of backstory about how we met. We met actually fairly recently in the beginning of September, and there's actually part of the reason why I wanted you to be the first guest, so I could give you an update about my post experience on your show,
Yeah.
Hot Wings Live. So, for the people who don't know, like, tell them a bit about what the show is.
Um. Well, if it's kind of like based on the show Hot Ones, if you're familiar with that one on YouTube, it's pretty big. It's come a long way since I started it. Like when I think it was April, and I think like a lot of us, we were just sitting around wondering what was going to happen with the world, and watching a lot of Hot Ones, catching up on a lot of old episodes, and I think we were watching the Justin Timberlake episode, and my brother was like, you know what, let's just buy all the sauces that he's eating right now. And I'm like, okay, sure. You want to spend $200? Let's do it. So yeah, we lined it up, and then someone convinced me to do it online and just put it, watch me suffer through it with my brother. Then it turned out a lot of my friends wanted to do it too, so I put, I think, nine or some of us on there, and we had like 150 people watching. It was pretty incredible. We raised over $1,000. Someone else's. We thought might be a good idea to help the businesses in need, so we do raise money for. Well, we did raise money at the time for London businesses, so we raised $3,000, I think, for some of my friends' businesses and local. Yeah, it turned out really, really good, and then it just blossomed into more of my friends wanting to do it, and I just started reaching out to anybody. Second episode we had the guys from the FM 96, the morning show, Taz and Jim, and then it just blossomed from there, and it's become way, way bigger than I had ever anticipated. So I'm very blessed.
Have you always been into the spicier kind of foods, or did you just gain an
Yeah,
appreciation
like
for it now?
I grew up like with the traditional stuff, Tabascos and the Franks, I guess, came along a little later, than the sriracha. I did dive in, growing up, I did, eat a lot of hot wings, because my tolerance has gone way up. Now I like, I'll eat suicide wings at the bar now. So I guess it's always been there, but over time, I've just been able to tolerate it a little bit more, I guess.
And how's your stomach and just your general health? Because you do it along with the contestants every week or every time you do it. So does it?
Yes,
Have
yeah,
you had some
I've
bad
done
experiences?
it 9 times now, I guess, right?
Yeah.
My stomach, it's okay. Some shows the day after is totally fine. Others not so much.
Yeah.
But my guts seem to be able to. What happens more? It's less about my guts and more about like I go kind of into shock. My body has a crazy pain response to it, and there's times where I've had pins and needles, and you can tell my body's just wondering what the heck's going on. So I need a little bit of a decompression time after the show, like for an hour or two, like where I just kind of do nothing and just relax and watch some TV or something.
So,
but my guts have been good.
Back in September, that's when we first met because I got in touch with you to be a part of the show. Right. And Greg, how do I say this? It was both one of the best and worst choices I've ever made.
Yeah,
because if you recall how my reaction was, it was rough.
Yeah, I meant to call you and ask you how you were doing after that, because
so the thing is,
you were in the washroom there for quite a
while.
Time.
No, here's honestly what happened. So at wing 1 to 7, I was good. I ended up getting that wing high that everyone hears about. So I was just numb. Like the 2 minutes go well, I'm like, all right, cool. I'm almost done. Get through this. But it was the 8th one, the bomb, that completely just destroyed my life.
That's the one that still gets me though. You obviously got it a lot worse than I get it, but yeah, it's it's the worst. It's not technically food. No one puts that on their on their slice of pizza or anything, or on their eggs. It's just for good content.
Yeah, that's legit what it was, and, like, my immediate reaction was I ran out of the room, but I literally just stuck my head under the kitchen tap and just kept running water on it for, like, 5, 10
Yeah.
minutes, and that's when I
Yeah,
eventually
before
came
you
back to
left, you're
the
like,
room.
"What the fuck is this?"
Yeah, no, exactly, I was in shock because 'cause I'm like, I've never had something that
That's
just
what
the
honestly,
taste
that's
and
what I
then
did.
it what do you know what makes it so spicy, Da Bomb specifically? Like, is there something different in it?
Well, there's a bunch of extract sauces available. This one I just tend to go to because of the other show. But so there's well, there's an additive in the sauce, and essentially what they do is they take the capsaicin is what makes the pepper hot, and somehow they're able to, probably like you're making a tincture out of THC or whatever, like you can somehow remove the oils, the capsaicin out of the pepper, and then add that pure hell to the to sauce.
Yeah, pure
So
hell's the only way I could describe because the next day, or not even the next day, after I got back from the bathroom and all that kind of stuff, I literally had a
yeah,
bag with me, and that's when I just started throwing up off camera because my body was just needing to reject it.
yeah, yeah.
It was a
Well, I'll
very
tell
rough.
you, when I all the other sauces, like I'll brush them on each individual wing, right? And then I always leave the bomb for the last, because what I've noticed is that when I add the sauce to the wing, and then I'll put it on a plate or whatever, and then whatever's stuck to the plate, I'll go to rinse it off, but
Mhm.
it won't really come off. Like you can see the sauce still sticking to the
Yep.
plate, probably because the extract. But yeah, so that's kind of probably what I'm thinking when it happens when it hits your tongue, is that's why it lasts for so long, is because it sticks literally for way longer than any other sauce.
It kinda reminded me the consistency kinda reminds me of, like, Jaeger, like, when someone's throwing up Jägermeister, and it's like
Yeah,
that sticky kind of consistency that just won't go away.
definitely, and it doesn't taste good at all.
No, but honestly, like, I was dealing with it, no
Hmm.
lie, for, like, well over a month, the aftermath
Oh,
of it,
a
like,
month.
yeah, no, my stomach was destroyed, like, I'm better now, I had to go to the doctor, get medication.
Yeah.
When I had to explain to the doctor why I needed specific stomach medication, he it was the most awkward conversation. "Oh, I ate spicy chicken wings on Twitch, and I now need
Yeah,
medical attention."
that's crazy.
Has anyone had a worse reaction than me yet, or have I been the worst?
No, no, I think you take the top. You
Great.
take the yeah. You got the gold medal there, bud.
Oh, fuck. So you've been doing the show since April, and obviously you've been getting a
Yeah.
lot of traction from it. You've had a lot of big guests. What is
Hmm.
the long term goal? Of this, because you obviously started because of COVID. We're all stuck in the house.
Right.
Do you think you're going to continue this long after the COVID eventually is going away, or kind of playing it by
I
ear?
think so. It depends. Like right now, I've been very fortunate on the guests I'm getting, and they are gradually getting bigger and bigger. Even though I've had having Ian Thornley on the show, for me, like he's one of my favorite musicians of all time. So like I've already kind of hit some kind of bar that I didn't expect to get to at all. So I'm just as long as it's fun for me and the guests keep coming, I'm gonna see if I can impress myself and see how far can I take this. I don't what I don't want to do is, yeah, sure, some of the A-list celebrities would be great to have, and I don't out of respect of the Hot One show, I kind of just want to stay in the B and C celebrity type. I don't need to go up there. It'd be cool like once in a while, but the minute I start stealing like Justin Bieber away from Hot Ones, I'm not sure I want to do
Yeah.
that.
So, is there anyone that you're really trying to get right now? Like, is there someone because you got Thornley said, and that was a bar for you. Is
Yeah,
there someone that you have
I'd
a
love to
list
get
of
Matt
people?
Good, because Matt Good's another one of my Canadian, like, he's just the best. And obviously, some of my favorite bands would be great, like Thrice. I'd love to get those guys because they're pretty quiet guys, and I'd like to open them up a little bit. um, I've, I, I'm a big Trailer Park Boys fan. I've made it very public, and that I'm trying to get them. And I'll tell you, I have been talking to their PR manager.
Mm.
So she actually shared one of my posts about Lackey Music Festival that I put on in 2014 where they hosted it. And I said, hey, thanks for sharing. Like, you didn't have to do that. It's awesome. I'd love to get the boys on the show. And she's like, well, you lucked out. You're talking to their PR manager. I'm like, wow. Okay. I think I said, oh my God. I typed that. Yeah. So I think I'm pretty sure they have been contacted. She's promised me she would talk to them about it because they do have a hot sauce. They do have a hot sauce by Coney Island Sauces, saucery out of New York, I believe. And which is surprising me that they went with a U.S. sauce company, but I guess the reach is bigger in the States, so they can sell a lot more sauce.
Yeah, they do really well, especially with the live shows.
Yeah. So Coney Island, I've talked to them, and they said they were in contact with them too about the show. So we'll see. I would tell you right now if they said yes, I would say they're coming on. It's looking promising, but I don't want to get my hopes up. So they would be a big thing for me to get. I don't know. The list is endless, right? Like, there's just so many people that, even if I'm not even a fan of theirs, just getting to know people, it's just like an awesome way to meet people that maybe I've never met, so never would have met. So
yeah, that's
pretty cool.
Very true. And you just mentioned like Trailer Park Boys have their own hot sauce with Coney Island in the States. Yeah. Are you developing a Hot Wings live sauce, or I know you posted about one briefly?
I've dabbled in sauce making just for myself, giving away a Christmas type thing. I like it. Yeah, I'd eventually like to open a hot sauce store, to be honest, and make my own. Yeah. My fridge is just full now because I have a bunch of people sending me sauces, and that's pretty cool. So I have 4 shelves of hot sauce to choose from every day.
Because you do the show now, are you eating hot sauce like less on your own time, or are you still doing it about the same?
No, more. Well, think about it. If you had like every type of, I don't know, spice in the rack, you'd probably experiment a little,
Oh, for sure.
So, yeah, now that it's kind of like in my face when I open the fridge, like, yeah, I'm using hot sauce more, to the point where I'm having it for breakfast, not just on my eggs, but like I made my own blueberry and blackberry hot sauce. So I'll put that on like a bagel or like, and then what's this hot sauce company. They sent me a bunch of sauces from California, and they had this apple cinnamon one. And I'm like, where the hell am I ever going to use this? Maybe like on ice cream or something. But yeah, like I'll put like peanut butter and then a little bit of apple cinnamon hot sauce on my bagel, and it wakes me up in the morning kind of thing, like it's like a coffee. I like it.
Yeah, I mean, that's definitely one way to do it. So we're going to take a quick music break right now. We're going to get a word from our sponsor for the episode, Anchor, and then we're just going to be right back. We'll see you in a few.
There's just something about you, and it makes me feel alright. Thought I was gonna doubt you, but you made me change my mind. Ooh, there's just something, and it knocks me off my feet. Ooh, it's you, baby. Pick me up when I'm in need, and I get back up, and I get back up, and I get back up again, and I get back up 'cause your love's my drug. And when it's all going wrong, boy, you make me feel right, 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 right. Boy, you make me feel right, right, every night, right. Boy, you make me feel right. Can't believe that I found you. Took my breath when you came by. You give me something to sing about, babe.
And welcome back to part two. Thanks for the music break. And that was our sponsor, Anchors. Thank you, Anchor, for sponsoring the episode. I'm curious more about your background because obviously before
Mhm.
COVID, you mentioned the Lackey Music Festival. Like, what were you doing prior to all this madness?
Um, a lot. My my full time job is at Fanshawe College, so I'm in IT there for the music program. So, that keeps me really fulfilled, meeting all the new batch of students that come in every year, and yeah, just the environment, being around studios and like minded people has been really good and keeping me motivated to do what I do. Like it's just it's been great working there for sure. On the other side, I'll do live sound for bands like Texas King or Ivory Hours. Well, when when there was shows,
Mhm.
used to hire me
Yeah.
to do sound for them. A little bit of mixing and mastering services out of my house. I used to be at Emax Studios for a couple of years in my own studio there, but recently moved it back to my basement. But it's been good, yeah. So between all those things keeps me pretty damn busy.
So a man of every hat, essentially.
Yeah. Dabbled in every aspect of the music industry. Um, yeah, it's been a fun ride. Been
So,
a fun
something
ride.
I'm curious is because a lot of what's happening in COVID is a lot of people are reevaluating what they're doing and trying to figure out like different paths. Like for me
Yeah.
specifically, I've been reading a lot of books and like I read this one a little about a while back called Essentialism, which basically just talks about the breaking down your life into doing all the essential things and not spreading yourself too thin and all this kind of stuff, which I've been guilty of in the past. So now I'm
Yeah.
trying to like ease myself into certain things when things start going back to a point where you can go out and do shows and all that kind of stuff, get and do production, anything like that,
Hmm.
are you going to reduce what you're doing in other aspects of your life to not spread yourself too thin, or are you gonna go back in like full clutch?
I'm fully on board with like I need to see a damn show. Like I'm gonna go to all the shows. So I might go a little crazy for the first couple months. I think it's going to ease back into it, so maybe it'll be like hard to get a ticket to a show, like maybe like fourth capacity, so
Mhm.
ticket prices might go up. I don't care. I'll pay. I just want to see, but that it is missing something at the point when it's a quarter capacity because like there's something special about like a packed house and everybody's singing along together and mosh pits and stuff won't be won't be a thing,
Mhm.
like not that I jump in those very often, but the odd song I'll jump in. I'm too old for that shit anymore. But
Yeah.
yeah, I think my nightlife or whatever, going out to support my friends and that will be on full force. Um I'm having fun with this wing thing, so I'm trying to ramp it up to every second week. So that'll keep me pretty busy between delivering sauces and there's a lot of prep and post work involved. I want to put the show on YouTube as well, so I'm
Yeah,
going to
that
be
was
working
actually
with
about
my
what I was gonna ask you next is expanding this to become more of a YouTube thing. Like,
yeah.
I know you're just doing the Twitch live stuff, which is great.
Hmm.
What's the vision of expanding this? Like, are you gonna do like
Yeah.
more weekly stuff, like are creating different content, or just focusing on the wing show itself? What are you thinking?
Right now, yeah, I'm just playing it by ear, but I do have plans to put it on YouTube, add like zoom in on certain people when they're making crazy
Mhm.
faces or add some audio effects. Like I definitely want to make it look really pro, which might be hard with the Zoom call, but like it'll still be fine. Um, yeah, so I'm gonna have fun with that. My designer who does like the overlays and stuff for me. I'm gonna be working with him on putting it on YouTube. So I expect once that goes up, the discoverability on YouTube is far greater than it is on Twitch. So I
Mhm.
expect a little bit more attention. I would say on YouTube.
If you had the
So,
opportunity to, would you, let's say the Hot Wings show starts getting a lot of good attention and you have the opportunity to do
mhm,
that full time, would you put that as more of a forefront of what you're doing in the overall scheme? Like hypothetically,
absolutely.
if things are back to normal.
Yes, I'm having a lot of fun with it. I'd like to build a team. I would like to get people involved that are like-minded and hardworking and because I'm right now, if I escalated this to more frequently than every 2 weeks, I couldn't do it by myself. I would need a lot of help. So that could be coming down the pipe. Other than that, I have this other show idea though, which I can't really talk about right now, but it's going to be like a slightly animated, slightly interactive, celebrity driven again. So yeah, can't really talk about that right now, but I got some other Twitch/YouTube shows in the works.
Is it staying in the spicy, destroying people's stomachs
No,
thing?
no. No, it won't be anything like that. Actually, it's
Okay.
totally unrelated, but celebrity driven. I'll say that.
Okay, maybe I can go on that one then because I won't be dying after.
Oh yes, this is it's going to be a great show because just everybody can do it. It doesn't, the learning curve isn't right there. Everybody can be involved with, and everybody kind of has played. Well, I kind of gave it away a little bit there. It's a video game based show. So yeah, it's a game that everybody can play, and it's going to be hilarious.
No, that's going to be great. With the modern, so think back, obviously, a few years you've been involved with like entertainment industry, doing live stuff
Yeah.
for a fair amount of time.
Mhm.
Obviously, getting into more doing the live streaming, getting content creation kind of stuff. Do you see this developing more into a thing that a lot more people are going to get into, or do you think post-COVID, a lot of people are just going to revert back to more? Okay, I was doing this before, so I know that I'm going to go do that.
So you think you're saying that more people are streaming now, or do you think they're
Yeah, I
get
think
into streaming?
definitely there's been an uptick in like streaming, content creation, all those kinds of things, especially with like bands doing live stream shows and stuff like that. Do you think it's going to go forward, continuing with this kind
I
of stuff
hope so.
capacity, or
I really
back
hope
to the
so,
old way?
because growing up with like CDs and stuff and liner notes, and like bands would show themselves even before YouTube, like in the studio, and like I was always very intrigued by that stuff. Like I loved watching my favorite bands create and be creative, and the more footage I could take in, I would just eat it up. I would love it. And I find that that's kind of gone away. Like the liner notes are gone. Like they're not talking about each song. Like I loved reading that stuff. Who produced the record, all that stuff is gone. And those kind of in the studio videos, I don't know. My favorite bands aren't doing that anymore, really. Or they'll do like a little clip, but like it's not enough. I want a DVD, or it's like a full length kind of thing, or at least half an hour of them creating the record. And I hope that this kind of like sparks that again. I don't know how it was
it's
lost.
definitely, it's always a time for change, and the world's just changing in so many ways. Like, especially this coming week, because newsflash for the people who are guessing, we are filming this prior to the U.S. election taking place this coming week. Any initial thoughts or fears potentially for what's to come?
Well, I guess if Trump gets elected again, I think the borders are going to be closed for longer than if Biden gets elected. You know what I'm saying? Because like I think Biden's more proactive, and I've seen a couple advertisements. One bar out of Detroit or Ann Arbor, around the Detroit area. They're like a legendary, dive bar that's every band's played there, and they were just showing the struggles of these bar owners. They're gonna have to close their doors and stuff. And at the very end, it was like the Beastie Boys track played, which was crazy because they never endorsed their music for anything. And then Biden came on and said, I'll help you guys. I'll help the small bar owner and nightclub owner. So go Biden.
Go Biden, yeah. Do you have a prediction of how you think this is going to go? Because like I know the early poll or the early registered pre-voting polls are saying Biden's in the lead with a massive advantage, but if 2016 taught me anything, it's never assume polls are correct.
Exactly. Yeah. Well, with the Electoral College or whatever, so Biden could very well get the popular vote and still lose. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's going to be close again. I don't think it's going to be as much of a blowout as they're anticipating.
Yeah, that's definitely a scary thing. What do you think in terms of COVID? So you mentioned obviously venues at 25% capacity and all those kinds of
Hmm.
things, or
Hmm.
just shorter percentage. How long do you think we're still going to be kind of in this preliminary stage that we are right now? Because we're kind of in stage three. Some of Ontario specifically is back in stage two because of spikes.
Hmm.
What do you think kind of the timeline, just based on general information that you've seen and gathered?
Uh, I'd like to think that next year we'll see festivals again. Well, there'll probably be, um, you know, we'll still be at social distance kind of thing. It'll be scattered. It won't be the same thing, but yeah, I don't know. Maybe that's wishful thinking, but
Yeah.
yeah, I hope by next summer, everybody wears a mask. And wintertime, like yes, diseases are prone to spreading a little faster, but now that everybody's kind of, winter can help in a way, like because no one's going out as much
Hmm.
with the bars closed. Like I don't know, I could see it helping and maybe not being eradicated by the spring, but
At least better.
yeah, I'm being optimistic.
No, there's nothing wrong with being optimistic. I think that's what the world needs right now, especially with everything going on. Because like in the states, especially with all just the craziness, police brutality, protests, the election, it's all still up in the air. And we're kind of just seeing
Hmm.
how things are really going. So it really is a day by day kind of thing. You're based in London, yeah?
That's correct.
So
I grew up in Ottawa.
how's London been from the beginning to now? Like obviously there's going to be a lot of businesses closing, venues
Yeah.
potentially closing in the area. How has the general vibe been of the city?
You know, um, it's, not depressed. Well, it's kind of depressing,
Yeah.
um, a lot of my friends are musicians. We all go to shows, and besides my small bubble of like poker night on Friday, I don't really do much with the boys. So, um, yeah, we miss it. We want to go back. And with most of my friends being musicians, I think we're definitely feeling it the worst.
Hmm.
Artists in general.
Yeah, the city of London done anything to try and lift spirits, or is it kind of just like, all right, you're on your own kind of thing?
um, I don't know. Like, I guess I don't know if it's the city doing much, but the the support with some of the restaurants has been good. I like the little notes they'll put on your takeout boxes saying thank you and put your name on it. Kind of like I don't know. You just didn't see that before, right? Like definitely a sense of hopefulness and appreciation going on right now with at least in the food industry.
Yeah, speaking of like hope and appreciation, for example, there's also been a massive uptick in homelessness, especially across different areas. Has there been an
Mhm.
increase in London at all?
Um, I haven't seen an increase. No,
Hmm.
no, I haven't seen that. Um, I was expecting more.
Yeah.
Um, Not to say our men's mission or Salvation Armies aren't busy. They've always been busy. I We're not you know even close to what's going on in Toronto or whatever, but
Yeah.
we're not perfect here, but we're doing a decent job, I would say. I don't see any like tent cities or anything like that happening right now, which is great.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, I'm also seeing a lot of people, and you mentioned obviously at the restaurants writing like nice messages or thank you or all these kind of
Hmm.
things, showing that bit of appreciation. I've seen today actually. I saw a homeless guy sitting near Tim Hortons. I was grabbing something to eat quickly,
Yep.
and my girlfriend and I gave him like a bagel and a bottle of water. But we also see like a lot more people giving the guy just like blankets, food, drinks, like just helping the guy out. And I haven't seen that for a very long time. A lot of
Yeah.
people are just I think a lot of people are just at this point where we're all kind of scared, we're all kind of confused. We don't know where things are going to go and we just want things to be better. And so I
Hmm.
think there's a much more sense of community right now, especially because obviously there's like a minority on social media that makes a lot of noise about how terrible things are in certain areas or just being generally ignorant.
Sure.
But I feel like a vast majority of people are just more concerned about the well-being of others, and I really hope something like that can continue post all of this madness, because I think
Absolutely.
like I remember thinking back to like I was young back then, but I just remember like after 9/11 in the States, in America, there was this like camaraderie of unitedness, and we're not gonna let them win and kind of thing. And I hope that kind of energy carries over to what this is now.
Yeah, didn't like all the planes land in Gander, Newfoundland or something, and the town just took them all in and let them into their houses, and
Yeah.
it was and we're not even from the States, like it was quite crazy what people can do when there's a tragedy, and because this isn't gonna get any better unless we do work together. You know what I mean? Like wearing a mask is for everybody else, not for you. So.
Yeah, and that's the big thing. Like I don't want to say I understand the anti-mask, because I kind of get what they're approaching on, like, oh, I have the right to choose whether or not I wear a mask, but it's that selfishness of you can't deal with being uncomfortable for a little bit in order to help protect those around you, because
Yeah.
COVID cases are still going out. The province is at an 800 to 1,200 per day average, something like that. And especially in the States with someone like Trump specifically, he's pushed such a divide between the two sides of the left and right. And even that energy, because we hear so much about it on social media and all that kind of stuff, which is why I'm not on really social media anymore. It's just seeing that division and seeing all that negativity. It kind of spills over into Canada, and then all of a sudden we have some of those characters kind of up here. And I don't know.
There's too many of them. Like I saw somebody comment that they don't read the comments anymore because it just can anger you, right? Like,
yeah,
it's
especially like on
stupidity that's
the news
spewed
articles
out
and stuff like that. It's just ridiculous.
It's not worth reading, right? It's just when you hit that comment, load more comments button, you're in for
you're gonna spiral.
Yeah, it's not healthy. So
I don't know. I just think we just need to love each other, support each other, be there for each other, help each other, and wear a fucking mask so we can get through this and all go to shit.
Absolutely.
All right, so we're going to take another quick music break here, another word from our sponsor, Anchor, and then we'll be back in a few to wrap this thing up. We'll see you in a bit.
Tonight, my mind keeps running and I can't stop it. Ooh, just one more time, numb the feeling for another moment.
All right, welcome back. You're here for part 3. That was another music break. And our sponsor, Anchor. Once again, thank you to Anchor for sponsoring this podcast. Greg, what are some of the stuff that you're doing just in your free time? Because obviously you do the Hot Wings thing. Like, what have you been up to during this quarantine?
You know what? Not too much. Walk the dog. Playing poker on Friday nights. It's giving me a lot of time to just take this wing idea and just see how far I can take it. Like that's literally been taking up most of my days, whether it be sending out tweets to random people that I may want on the show, or it's just kind of consumed my life, to be honest. It has almost. I work on it, for a few hours every day. So
Yeah. You mentioned poker night. How are you doing your poker night? Is it like an online thing or is it...
No, we have this there's 5 of us that I go to. We hang out every week. We trust each other that we're not going out to wherever in bars and heavy populated areas. So we've got this. I know the premier says we shouldn't have a bubble right now, but we do.
Yeah,
and we're not stopping it. Otherwise, I might go crazy. But yeah, so we have our 5 guys that we if anybody's feeling ill or anything, obviously they're not invited. But it's been so far so good.
Have you thought about doing a poker show?
Yeah, well, you mentioned on the break about some of the gear that I'm using for the show now. My brother's a retired veteran, so he got into streaming. So he streams mainly Call of Duty and stuff like that. So he went for it. He's still streaming quite often. He's got what do I got here? I got this Go XLR unit that's pretty awesome and use it as a mixer. So it's got like voice changing stuff and
Yeah.
And it's got like you can trigger stuff. Oh, I can, yeah. I think I can record this. 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 Yeah. So it's got like a sampler on it and mixer and voice changer and all this stuff. It's kind of fun. Yeah. And then I got a stream deck here to trigger scenes. Just a quick way instead of using your mouse and keyboard to get around the Streamlabs stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then I've got the key light. I don't know if I saw you're using one right now.
Yeah,
I have something similar.
I have 2 kind of key lights. Yeah.
Oh, you got nice. Yeah, they're convenient.
Yeah.
And I got this ring light around the camera here. So yeah, he just moved to a 2 PC setup. He used to stream using the PS4 and his computer, but now that everything's like cross-platform when it comes to like shooter games and stuff. So he's opted for the PC to PC solution.
Yeah. Are you going to get more into streaming for yourself? Like, are you going to get involved with streaming on COD, or are you kind of just chill with what you're doing now?
No, I don't play a whole lot of video games. Obviously this new show idea we have will involve a lot of video game stuff. I enjoy playing, NHL, hockey. I used to be like into some of the shooters like CS:GO and stuff like that, but don't play a whole lot anymore. But I was thinking about doing a little bit of podcasting and stuff with Edie, just moving forward. Maybe not on the Hot Wings channel, but create something more often with him, because on the Wings show we don't really get to chat about we don't really get to talk to each other. So that's kind of in the works too. So I'd like to I never thought I'd be a content creator, to be honest. Like I've always been a kind of behind the scenes guy, like, doing the mixing, mastering, live sound. Like I'm not on stage. I have been in bands before, but I prefer the behind the scenes kind of type thing. So this is
I'm the exact same way.
a little strange. It's a little strange for me.
Yeah, I've always preferred the behind the scenes stuff, like doing this podcast. The only reason I started the podcast initially anyway was literally just to connect and reconnect with people and just keep that connection going and not feeling like I'm completely fucking isolated.
That's kind of where the wing thing came from too. Of like, oh, this is a good opportunity to like actually kind of have a party online.
Yeah. So Yeah, you really like this content creation stuff. Is this something that you
Ah,
definitely want to keep going for down the line?
oh yeah, I'm in it. I'm in it. I love it. Um, I feel like we're at the the start of it because like YouTube streaming, Twitch streaming only really started in like what 2013 or 14 or something like that. Like the
Yeah, like
Twitch launched.
YouTube launched, I think, in 2005 or six, and that's obviously grown into
Well,
the
yeah, but they didn't have the live streaming element, like content. Yeah, for on
yeah.
YouTube, sure. But yeah, I think this new live stream stuff, and then mix it in with an edited, YouTube combo show. Like I think not many. I don't think many people are doing that, to be honest. Like
Yeah.
making like an actual TV show with a Twitch element, and so you can watch it live, uncut, and then you can get the produced version. I
So
think it's
is
pretty
that
neat.
do you think that's kind of where the future of streaming and all that kind of content creation is going to go? That mixed of because a lot of more people are watching YouTube or Netflix or any of these kind of
Yeah.
streaming services.
Well, that's your catalyst. That's like, I watch guys like Dr. Disrespect or Bobby Poff or whatever on Twitch. And yeah, that's where everybody finds those channels because Twitch has, you don't just go on Twitch and find what you're looking for. You kind of have to find it through the highlights. So I think more shows will be that like that. Well, they'll be like, because I think people watch Twitch gaming for different reasons. Like, sure, the host is funny, but you're also learning something about the game too and how to get better yourself. Like that's kind of why you're watching it. It is entertaining, but you learn a lot of stuff because these guys are kick ass at the game.
So you mentioned Doctor Disrespect and those kinds of guys. Like
Mhm.
when you watch Doctor Disrespect, is what about it draws you into watching streaming? Because I haven't been able to get into the online like watching someone play a
Mhm.
video game. I'm more on that side of watching a YouTube video that's produced, cut, and put out. So what is it
Right.
for you that makes you enjoy the streaming stuff?
I don't know. They're just funny guys. Like, they they don't hold back. They tell it how it is. Like I love when Dr. Disrespect gets in these like rants where he's just literally losing his mind with like, I don't know if he's actually angry, but he's pretending he's really damn angry and yelling at the developers, like, and he's sponsored by Activision, like, and he's calling out Call of Duty saying, you guys suck. Like, why is this happening? Like, I love it. Like, probably shouldn't say this stuff because he's a big influencer when it comes to people buying the games. Like people buy Call of Duty because obviously maybe that's a bad example because everybody does buy those, but they definitely have influence on what people buy because of what they're playing. So maybe you shouldn't say that stuff, but because he has, he always crosses the line when it comes to that kind of stuff. It's very entertaining.
Yeah, and that's the thing you just mentioned, like these streaming personalities and all these kind of up and coming content creators now
Mhm.
that have such an influence on just not even specifically just the video game market, but many markets because so
Yeah.
many companies are getting involved with that. Especially like you're seeing content creators like who are the the D'Amelio sisters or whatever, Charlie and
Yeah.
whoever the other one is. Because they're being integrated in like tons of music videos. They're making multi-million-dollar deals. Like
Mhm.
the influence they have is crazy and a lot what do you think the future is going to be like? Are people going to look at those content newer kind of celebrities more like highly compared to the more traditional celebrity, or what do you think that kind of
Hmm.
transition is going to be?
I think they might because the amount of content they're producing, like you know, I love Jim Carrey, but he's not on my feed every day making me laugh. So I think they might have more power because of it's like they're an advertisement. They're constantly bombarding you with like entertainment or and you trust their judgment. Like they're actually not only giving you their personality and their jokes or whatever, they're giving you like you trust them on. They wouldn't endorse something unless it was actually good.
Yeah, I
So,
think, and I think that's maybe a reason why a lot of these content creators have such like hardcore fan bases. It's that development of the relationship of this is who I am. I'm not
mhm,
being a character. I'm not this guy or that guy. Like this is who I am. You're seeing what I'm doing, and you're seeing what I put out, and you're seeing what I genuinely like. Obviously, there
mhm,
is some content creators where they don't really personalities or they have a specific character for their content. But a lot of people like I always look at the David Dobrik just put out a YouTube video helping promote the new Borat movie,
Right.
which I didn't even realize there was a new Borat movie until like a couple days ago.
Yeah,
but I saw Dobrik posted about
it's
it,
pretty
and
funny.
I know just that video put an uptick in people for Amazon Prime subscriptions.
Oh, guaranteed. And the other half of us are being like, "Oh, sweet, I don't have to pay for it."
Yeah,
You know,
exactly.
we already have it. This is just a bonus. But I like that they're fighting for Netflix's competition because, you know, there's a lot more streaming options out there right now. But for a while there, you know, Amazon didn't have a whole lot of originals, and they're slowly building that up. So
I would say, how do you think the market's going to be? Like, let's say hypothetically in 5 years, do you think there's just going to be a severe oversaturation of streaming platforms like Netflix or all that, or is it going to be some of them are going to follow? Because Quibi was that app recently that was 10-minute shorts or whatever, and they announced
right,
they're done.
they're gone. Eh?
Yeah,
I think now that the big guys have kind of got in there, like the Amazons and, you know, well, Netflix built it from the bottom, but those two alone, like who else do you have up the top?
Disney.
Well, Disney, yeah. So those three, like, I don't know who else is creating content that big that they're not already involved with.
And I think also the other thing is it's a generational thing when it comes to taking in content, because obviously the younger generation are using like TikTok and more on YouTube than they're watching traditional media like TV or even voting to go for YouTube as opposed to Netflix. And I think that's going to be a huge reason why these content creators are going to have such an influence on the future of these platforms. And I feel like we're definitely going to start seeing a lot more of these creators not only transition into mainstream media, which a lot of them already are, especially with like what's a good example? Like there was a YouTube boxing fight last year that generated the most pay-per-view buys of the year or something close to that, like multi-millions of dollars, and all the major mainstream companies got involved with it. And I don't know, it's an interesting thing to see.
Did they charge on YouTube, or it was free for the user?
No, it was
so it was paid.
It's YouTube boxing fight. It was Logan Paul and KSI. Obviously Logan Paul US, KSI is UK. They did two fights. The first one, it was a pay-per-view on YouTube, which they did basically independently, so they made probably a lot more money. And then the second one was through that sports app DAZN, which was just on the come up, and then you had to get a DAZN subscription to watch the fight.
Okay, well, that makes sense, I guess. With all the cable cutters, like, you know, putting it like on traditional cable television, and everybody just, you know, bootlegging it and finding a stream of it, you know, they gotta get with the times. It's like it feels like Napster all over again right now.
Well, and that's the thing. A lot of these mainstream companies are now getting into the swing of YouTube by like uploading highlights to certain channels and all that kind. And like especially a few years back when the talk shows like Jimmy Fallon, Kimmel, they all started uploading their clips, and essentially they're just high quality YouTube clips from the TV show.
Yeah,
and I think the joke was made like, you're either older and watching this when it's out on live TV, or you're watching this the next day while you're on the toilet.
Pretty much. Absolutely.
Have you seen any good movies while you've been in quarantine? Like, have you watched any series or anything like that?
Well, the Borat movie was pretty damn hilarious. I thought it was really good, and the way I don't know, I don't want to give away the ending, but the ending's great. It's probably one of the best parts of the movie. Wasn't there a
controversy with that with Rudy Giuliani or something?
Rudy
like that?
Giuliani. I don't know if you saw the clip, but
so I heard about it. I didn't see it. So what exactly did happen? Because I know there was a
Well, he somehow his daughter, actor daughter in the movie, got a opportunity to interview him, and they did it in his like house or something. So like, and like somehow right after or right beside, like they were in like let's say the living room or whatever, or like a lounge area, and then like it so happened that right beside that room was his bedroom, or maybe it was a hotel room. I don't know what it was, but it was like it looked really nice, so I assumed it was a house. But And then the drinks start coming out, so they're drinking like scotch or whiskey or something, and then all of a sudden she propositions him to go in the room, and of course he goes in. At this time, I think he was told that she was 15 years old or something like that, even though the actress is 24. So,
but with the implication of knowing she's 15,
yeah,
and there's cameras.
So I don't know what they start. There's not much that happens in the room. They just like talk, and she helps him with this taking off his microphone or whatever. So she's like heavily, seducing him essentially. And then he reaches down his pants and tucks in his shirt, he says, because his shirt got untucked when the microphone came out. And most people just think he's playing with his junk. So, and then Borat comes in. Borat comes in and says, "Oh, what are you doing with my daughter?" He pretty much he said in real life like he was actually concerned and he wanted to stop it. So because he played the sound, he dressed up in this costume and he played like the boom operator, the sound guy.
Yeah,
and obviously Rudy Giuliani didn't know that it was Borat. Otherwise, the show that interview wouldn't have never happened.
Did Trump say anything about it in response? I would have loved to hear what Trump had to say.
I don't think he's been vocal about it. No. I mean, I would be hilarious if he did watch it because they make fun of him the whole movie. So,
oh no, absolutely. Well, Greg, I'm not going to keep you any longer. I really appreciate you coming on and hanging out.
It's been a pleasure, man. My pleasure.
Yeah. So, where can people find you and what you're doing?
You can find me at on Instagram and Facebook. Just search Hot Wings. You can find my show page there and keep up to date with all the new posts, new guests, and hot sauce related stuff.
All right, perfect. And all of Greg's show info is going to be in the description down below if you're watching this on YouTube. Greg, thanks again, man. This has been awesome.
You're welcome,
I look forward
man.
to seeing what content you got coming out next.
All right, I appreciate it, man. Stay away from that hot sauce.
Oh, I am. Thanks, Greg.
Cheers.
Bye, everybody.